Financial literacy is something that's a lot less common amongst millionaires than people might think, especially with athletes. Everything from bad contracts to blowing all their money after they retire. It truly is a breath of fresh air to see somebody like Russell Okung and what he was able to accomplish yesterday. Russell Okung is an accomplished NFL star who has been to 2 Pro Bowls and won the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks that drafted him 6th overall in 2010. He's inked some big contracts and has amassed millions of dollars over his playing career, and as of right now has a net worth of $14 million. His latest deal has landed him in the news and has been trending because he seems to have reached a goal that he set for himself back in 2019. And that simply is to be paid in Bitcoin. I talked about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically, as cryptocurrencies are becoming more and more of a valuable asset. Okung has been very vocal about his support for Bitcoin with tweets, interviews. Look at his bio. Back in 2019, he put a tweet out that said, "Pay me in Bitcoin." Then yesterday he quote tweeted that tweet and said, "Paid in Bitcoin." This comes off of the heels of his latest contract, which is a $13 million contract with the Carolina Panthers. He wanted half of this $13 million contract, which is $6.5 million, to be paid all in Bitcoin. The headlines, however, were misleading because they did not pay him. The Carolina Panthers did not pay him in Bitcoin. They paid him in US dollars, which was then converted into Bitcoin by a startup company. According to an article on Coindesk.com, the arrangement comes by way of Zap, the Bitcoin startup founded by Jack Mallers. Zap's Strike product enables traditional paychecks to be converted into Bitcoin. How does Strike work? Technically speaking, Okung is still being paid. Strike receives a direct deposit from his team, the Carolina Panthers, and then swaps dollars for Bitcoin. That Bitcoin is then sent to a cold storage wallet held by Okung, according to Mallers. Simply put, it's just like another bank account, except this one grows. And according to Mallers, he's not the only athlete talking about being paid in Bitcoin. We've seen another NFL player in Matt Barkley request that his salary was partly paid in Bitcoin. According to Mallers, so has unnamed members of the Brooklyn Nets basketball team and the New York Yankees. So are we seeing a crypto revolution in the world of sports? As I've said in the Bitcoin video that's on our channel, Bitcoin is directly controlled by the people. So anytime somebody like a Russell Okung ends up talking about it to his 200,000+ followers on Twitter, it helps spreading the word and making Bitcoin more mainstream, which eventually leads to the growth of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. When speaking on this topic, I really don't want to overlook what I said at the very beginning of this video, which was financial literacy. Russell Okung negotiated his own contract, which is something you don't see very often when it comes to professional athletes trying to leverage a deal. Now we see him talking about the freedom of Bitcoin and why he'd rather have his money there than in a traditional bank account that seems to always be putting their hands in his pocket. There's an awesome interview with Russell Okung on a YouTube channel called What Bitcoin Did. I recommend you guys go check that out. I'll drop the link for that interview in the description of this video. I say all that to say, if you do your homework on this guy, you realize that he is credible when it comes to talking about finances. Will we see other athletes end up taking the same route and putting Bitcoin in their contracts, or putting their money into startups like Zap and converting their money into Bitcoin? These guys got millions of dollars, millions. There's people investing with thousands, including myself, that are already making some good money on cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So if you throw several millionaires into the mix, that could really open the floodgate, especially for these big contract athletes. Not to mention, most of these guys have huge platforms online, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers on Twitter and Instagram. You get people talking. It's like high school. Things spread like wildfire, especially when there's money involved. Let me know what you guys think about cryptocurrency, about Bitcoin specifically. Check out the video that we did talking about cryptocurrency. How about a drinking game for anybody that made it to the end? Watch this video again and take a shot for every time I said Bitcoin. Huge shout out to Jack Mallers, the founder of that startup, Zap. I strongly urge everybody to learn about Bitcoin today. I know for a lot of people it turns them off because when people talk about Bitcoin, it always sounds like they're trying to convince you. And when it comes off that way, you're already playing from behind. You have to look into it yourself and look at these graphs. Look at the way that it's gone up over the last couple of years. When Okung put out that original tweet, "Pay me in Bitcoin," which was in May of 2019, the price for one Bitcoin was $8,188.14. If you were to have purchased one coin at that time, today you'd be sitting on a $20,000 profit. Russell Okung is really pushing the bar and trying to change the game here. Outside of being a great blocker for Russell Wilson before he left the Seahawks, I really didn't know much about him, but I gotta admit I admire the financial literacy, the taking care of his own contract, representing himself in free agency, and I just love the fact that this guy is so into cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. Will we see other athletes follow in his footsteps, trying to negotiate? Will we see players putting in big amounts into cryptocurrencies? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Drop a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the latest videos in sports and pop culture. Don't wait until these cryptos get way too high. You'll wish you would have got it sooner. I promise.